This video is brought to you by Leslie James Limited, Rolls-Royce and Bentley specialists, based in Ipswich in Suffolk in the UK. This is our first video for YouTube and we hope that you will learn something from it. We are currently working on a Rolls-Royce Ghost which came into us with a air spring damper problem. The car was leaning seriously to one side, and as with most of the faults on these cars, when it starts to do that, it is the air spring dampers that are generally giving you a problem. So in order to sort it out, we've started to strip down the car and refit a new damper. It's taken us quite a while to do the job today, so we're not obviously going to bore you with all the nitty-gritty of how we did it, but if we just talk you through the main points, should you find yourself in a position of wanting to do this job yourself, then you'll have a better idea of how to do it. So to start with, obviously you need to remove the wheel, and after you've jacked up the vehicle, make sure you support the vehicle with axle stands. You can do this job on trolley jacks. It doesn't need to be on a two-post ramp. However, a lot of people prefer to do that, but personally I don't like two-post ramps. We have a four-post ramp in our other workshop, which we generally find is adequate for most jobs. But on this occasion, because our ramp is tied up, we've decided to do this one in this workshop on trolley jacks and axle stands. So the first stage really of this job is to, once you've secured the car and jacked it up properly and supported it, is to undo the 3 bolts that are at the top of the housing of the damper. Once you've done that, you can then go under the car, having removed the wheel, and you can start dismantling the suspension components. First thing we did is disconnect the track rod end, which popped out fairly nicely, and on the other side, the most important part is the lower arm, which enables you to remove the damper from its housing. Obviously we've disconnected the anti-roll bar link as well, and once you release those items you can actually get to the rest of the air spring damper, and then you can disconnect the air line, disconnect the electrical circuitry, and the damper does come free. So we normally work on older cars like Shadows, Spirits, but more recently we've had to turn our attention to the newer cars, Bentley GT here, which we're seeing quite a few of those at the moment, coming with various problems, but we're able to sort them out, having to invest in obviously diagnostic equipment and that type of thing, but it is perfectly doable for us now. That is a Corniche that came in from the States. It's covered up at the moment because the roof is leaking, so we don't want it to get damaged in the lovely British weather. But we've had to build the fuel system on that, which is now starting and running just as it should. This is a Bentley GT Super Sport, which came in with accident damage. Somebody had backed into the rear quarter, so that's all been repaired in our body shop and is waiting collection. So all in all, it's just really a question of talking you through the Ghost repairs, and hopefully you'll find this video useful. I will show you the components that have been removed so that you can see what needs to be done. So this is the new damper which we've ordered, and is a genuine Rolls-Royce part, costing in excess of £2,000, which is quite a lot of money for an air spring damper. But there are companies out there that do rebuild these. I think mainly in the States. I haven't really seen anybody in the UK that does it. So if you want to get one rebuilt, that option is available. So this is the old one that we took out this morning. Obviously it's got an internal problem, which is why it's not holding air. But just as a precaution, we had to remove the lower arm anyway, to enable us to get the damper clear of the mountings, but we've decided to replace this as well, because we noticed that some of these ball joints are not as good as they should be. So while we've got it all apart, it's well worth replacing those items. So what we'll do is we'll continue tomorrow with the next stage of the video, and then we can show you how we put it all back together and got the car running again.